Yes, and good evening, and welcome to Dermot and Phillip's Political Democratic Rants. Yes, this is the proper news channel for your news. You don't need CNN, you don't need Sky, you don't need the BBC. You just need me and Phillip giving it to you straight. What is happening around in the world? Phillip being sarcastic and thinking everything is being burnt to hell, and me just saying, following the BBC, Sky, CNN for all the breaking news. But good evening and welcome. And yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to try to be a bit more consistent with these podcasts, probably trying to do 3 a week if we can, because of what's happening in Iran and around the world. But Phillip, good evening. How are you, sir, this evening? And how's the Donald Trump dance coming along? Are you nailing it yet?
No, I just can't, man. I'm going to get one of the whoever gets knocked out of the Strictly Come Dancing in Ireland at the weekend. I'm going to have them to teach me because I can't get it right. I keep falling over. So
where are you struggling with it? Is it the arm movements? Is it the legs?
Yeah, I can't coordinate the arms and the legs. I keep getting my legs twisted together. So it'll come right.
I'll just show you very quickly, Phillip. We'll just give you a quick preview of what you have to do. That is what do you see what you have to do now? I can't hear you now.
That's very strange. It muted itself. When I mentioned the word Donald Trump and my mic muted. I think I've been hacked.
Yeah. Now do you realize how you got to do it? It's about you got to have I thought you'd get it for St. Patrick's Day at least.
I'll have it right by then. Yeah.
Look, I just want to start very quickly on that. It is St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday. Michal Martin is going over to America with a load of them. Just very quickly, look, I understand why he's got to go over there, and he is going over there with 6 billion euros worth of a gift for Donald Trump. Do you think that will keep Ireland in these good books going forward? Because we do have the the making of the tablets over here, Facebook's over here, Google's over here.
It's
thank you.
You're giving it to Mr. Unpredictability. I mean, he could be all over Michal Martin next Tuesday. He's calling him the best this and the best that, and it's great to be have my hotel in Ireland and all that. Then he'll probably realize what Catherine Connolly said about him and take it all back. It's just you don't know with that guy. He's just so like they don't call him Taco for nothing. He'll he's like the weather. He changes regularly, and I know we both have our reservations about Michal Martin going to the White House on Tuesday, but I think looking at the long game, it's a necessary evil. Because we need to keep in with America, and if we didn't go next week, Trump would blackball us, and that's it. Whoever comes in next probably wouldn't bother giving us the invitation unless he had Irish connection. So you have to go bite your lip and say nothing and smile for the camera. That's basically it.
I mean, Michelle O'Neill's not going from the north, which I think it's a strong statement by her. Actually,
it is a strong statement, but I think the bottom line would be if Michal Martin didn't go, that would be headline news and would not go down well for Ireland, unfortunately.
Do you think Simon Harris would have gone?
Yeah, he would have. Yeah.
So I think anybody
would go, because they realise the implications of not going.
Yeah, it is.
They realise that the harm it could cause us, and not this year, but in years to come.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get why they have to go, but you do think, would anyone, Michelle O'Neill's saying, right, I'm not going because of X, Y, and Z. You just wonder, would there be any other politician within Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael that would say, do you know what? I'm going to make a stand here. And I wonder how popular that would be with the Irish voting people if they did do that.
Yeah, well, of course, no Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael politician is going to break the party whip and say that. No. It's quite fine for anybody in Sinn Féin to say it because they're not actually in power.
So or Labour, or the Social Democrats, or
Oh yeah, any of
Or
those parties, they get a free hit because they're there to be the opposition, and they're going to oppose anything the government does. So it's quite natural, and that's the way the political system should be. You're allowed free and honest opposition to what's going on with the main government.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Not
I
always
was
the way
thinking the
everyone.
other
Not always the way everyone.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day, Philip, that we really need a good Labour Party in Ireland again. I was thinking that the other day. We actually do, because I can never get a name right. And then, thank you. See, Mr. John. Yeah. She for me, every time she's doing leaders' questions, she's brilliant. She's straight to the point. I think she's a lawyer by trade. So barrister. So she takes that sort of barrister sort of where they are in court. And she holds them to accountable. And she does, and he can be narky back with her. And she would stand there and she said, "No, you didn't answer my question." I just wish there was, if Labour were the main opposition and not Sinn Féin, I think people will more think, do you know what? We might actually vote for a left, because I think if it was Labour led, I think it'd be more popular than a Sinn Féin led left alliance.
Yeah, I think so. I think you could be right there. I think I'm laughing at having a good Labour Party. I think in the UK they wish they had that as well, because at the moment they're going through a lot, Although we'll see Keir Starmer is in Ireland today. He's down in Cork with Micheál Martin, going to meetings and meeting the business people of Cork.
Is Micheál Martin taking him down to Clonakilty just to say to him, "Look, if you walk over that cliff there, we'll show you what happened to Michael Collins"? Or them years ago?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think it's purely business meetings, and Keir Starmer will be hoping that he gets a bit of political capital out of doing this, because he's under horrendous pressure at home over the Mandelson situation,
Yeah, well, look, I was going to talk to you about that. Look, we are going to get on with the round, guys. I want to say big up to Giant 68. Look, I got you in, man. Look, I'm very sorry what's happened, bud. But look, we're here for you. If you need, you should know where we are. And get well soon for me and Philip. And thank you for coming in. It's great. He has got a very good question here. So we are going to get that in a minute, Giant. We're just getting the domestic politic segment done before we do get into the biggest news, which is happening, is Iran. With Mandelson, he got, what was it? He got a £75,000 payoff, I think, and he was still being paid his wages. Why? After he got sacked, being the ambassador to the United States. But how come Keir Starmer hasn't gone yet? How come? Do you know, if that was any other politician, right, in any other country, they'd be gone?
I think the reason.
I got just two questions, Philip. Is it the Labour MPs haven't got the guts to pull the trigger? And maybe Giant can let us know in the chat, being in the UK. Have the Labour MPs haven't got the guts to think, well, they did give us our job and they did give us our biggest ever majority? Or do you think they don't think there's nobody suitable to take over from Keir Starmer? That there has been talk of the ex-Labour Deputy Prime Minister looking to come back in. The former health minister was looking for the job as well. And if you look at the Conservatives and if you look at the Liberal Democrats, out of the three parties, and we know reform with Nigel Farage is a whole different subject and a whole different show, the Liberal Democrats look to be the most credible party in Parliament at the moment. Better than the Conservatives and better than Labour.
Well, look, the Keir Starmer is leader of the Labour Party at the moment. They have a huge majority. Unpopular as they are, they have a huge majority. And I think the Labour Party have decided to change the leader now would create a lot of uncertainty and possibility of votes of no confidence and what have you. So I think they've decided that what the devil you know is better than the one you don't. And that's why I think they've stuck on to him. Because let's face it, we don't want the likes of Nigel Farage coming along and making the UK into USA light, because he spends more time in Washington than he does in his own constituency. So that would be a major issue for England and Scotland and Wales and the Northern Ireland if reform got anywhere near power. So I think Starmer is okay for now, But if any more revelations about Mandelson come out, like it's already been told that he was told not to give him the job, and he overruled that advice, which was a serious mistake, a lack of judgment, really. But it's, okay, hindsight's perfect vision. We now know this was a bad decision. He didn't know it at the time. I'm sure he had an inkling that things were going to go pear-shaped, which they did very, very quickly. But I think he's safe for now. And to be honest with you, you can normally see a good replacement candidate. I can't see anybody. Like Angela Rayner, she was disgraced, wasn't she, earlier on?
Yeah.
You know, and to come back in. So I think he's safe for now, but watch this space.
Yeah, I mean, there is the local elections in May as well, Philip, which we will be covering on this channel. And hopefully we will be covering some of the night coverage as well. We will be sort of giving you the latest, and then we'll give you the next day. We'll go over the figures, and me and Philip will, and Ronan as well, will be going over the figures and the parties and how they've done, I think that's going to be that's going to be a bad night for Labour that night.
Well, no doubt.
I think the likes of Reform and Liberal Democrats may gain a
few more votes. The Green Party aren't to be discounted either. They won their first seat there recently. So, you know, I think, okay, it'd be a good thing if there's a spread. You know, as long as one party doesn't get all the seats, if they spread it out amongst everybody and have a decent, good opposition to Labour.
Yeah.
That we've known 2 months ago before that. A lot can happen in 2 months. A lot can happen in 2 months.
Right, let's go and talk about the elephant in the room. Let's go and talk about Donald Trump and his latest crusade to save oil prices and the Iranian people. Well, John's got a question here. Big up to you, John. He says, do you think this war is more about oil and oil prices than trying to get regime change?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw Donald Trump's comment today, where he said the oil price rise is going to make an awful lot of money for America, right? Now, to me, that was probably one of the most insensitive things he could have said, because you got the man in the street in America complaining that gas is now going up 50 cents a gallon every week. And he knows the people that are going to make the money are his billionaire buddies. So I think it's now moved on. I'm running out of idea. I think maybe there's been 4 different reasons given for this war at the minute. There was the nuclear stuff, which was supposed to have been decimated last July. There's regime change. What else have they gone in to safeguard the bases in the UAE and the other countries in that area? So now, I think it's moved on now. I think it's becoming more about oil, because America claims to be the biggest oil producer in the world, and if nobody else can produce it, that means more people are going to buy American oil. So that's really what it's all about.
Now, as from tonight, I think we will show you guys. This is a sort of a picture of where the main ports are in the Gulf. You got Kuwait, you got Bahrain, you got Qatar, and you got Saudi. You got the United Arab Emirates, which is somewhere down there on the left, just past Milton Keynes. Third roundabout in, turn left, and you're there. Now, the Strait of Hormuz has been closed. We know an American oil ship has been attacked tonight, Philip, in the last few hours by an Iranian drone.
Yeah.
Iran have said they are going to close it. They said it's shut. We're not going to let any oil out. We will go on to talk about the supreme leader. Amazingly, he's defied every medical book going by making a statement. I mean, I don't know how he's done it, but fair play to him. But on this, how dangerous is it, Philip, that that the Americans have said, look, go through it, and an American oil ship's got bombed tonight?
Yeah.
How dangerous is it for the economies of the world, for people that, not like Ireland and that, because all countries have reserves, have oil reserves, but we don't. We depend on oil from these countries, and Europe has its own reserves as well. But these reserves are going to be eaten into. So how long before I think we're already feeling the effects, but how long before we really do feel the effects, where people won't put on the heating, will rather walk or take a bus instead of using the car? Where we know food's really going to go up. We know everything's. How are we going to feel it in our pocket? This could bring on a world recession, the likes I don't think anyone has ever seen. And I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but could it be as worse as the collapse in 1922? Wasn't it?
1929,
Could it be
actually.
worse than that?
No, it won't be. No, no, it won't. And to be honest with you, just to correct you slightly there, we don't get our oil from the Middle East. We get our oil from the North Sea and places like that. You know?
I
so
did say we get it from Europe. I did say that.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, we're not going to be totally dependent on this oil now. Whether it's going to be a world recession or not, who knows? A lot depends on the whim of Donald Trump. Now, he has more or less told people that he said yesterday that the Strait of Hormuz is in great shape. Now, if great shape is 3 or 4 tankers sitting burning, I wouldn't like to see it when it's not in great shape. He also said ships go on through there, it'll be okay. And as you just rightly said, an American ship is now on fire because of that. Probably lives lost because of it. I mean, it's time it was called out. You cannot depend on a single word that man says. He really, he's living in cuckoo land. He does not realize exactly what's going on there, what he started. He keeps saying they've won the war. And then at the end of the same sentence, we're not quite there yet. So, it's the adults in the room need to get hold of this and sort it out, because you cannot depend on Trump to do it. Now, that being said, I don't think it's going to go for a world recession, because there's enough other oil producers that will keep things going. There is talk that Iran has let ships bound for India and China actually pass through approach or unattacked, for want of a better word.
Yeah, but that's good. There
are exceptions to the rule,
Yeah,
because China need oil. China take 25% of their oil from this area. They need lots of it.
Yeah, so, well, that's great. That's great for China, but it's not great for Europe.
I know that. Yeah, I know that. But I don't. Listen, we're only 10 days into this. There is millions of gallons being released from the reserve. That will keep things going for a while, and hopefully somebody will somebody will come up with a peace plan and give Donald Trump an out ramp that he hasn't got at the moment, because he went in there totally unprepared, no exit plan. Didn't think Iran would be as strong as they have been. I mean, what Iran's reaction to this. Well, I don't agree with them bombing the other areas. It's not really, I wasn't expecting that. But America had not factored that in. They thought it was going to be a cakewalk for them, and it hasn't been. And it could end up. It could end up that this decade's Vietnam for America if they send troops in on the ground.
Well, that's the thing. There were asked today. Hesketh and Trump both didn't answer the question. But do you think America will have to put boots on the ground?
No, they don't have to. No, they don't have to. But they to save face, they might. But the problem with that is, you don't remember Vietnam. I do, right? The demonstrations against that war in America was absolutely massive, mainly student demonstrations. When the body bags kept coming home in the hundreds and the thousands. If that happens now, those demonstrations will be repeated. And Donald Trump, he knows he's going to lose the election in the winter anyway, the midterms. So if body bags start coming home, American opinion, it's already badly shifted against him, will be even worse. So he'd be absolutely crazy to put troops on the ground.
To sort of come back to you on that, there was major demonstrations for the Iraq war in 2003 as well. So,
but that was different. That was different. They went in there on a lie. They went in the weapons of mass destruction.
Well, not in the point when the body bags start coming back, people were protesting about it as well, because again, it was America going in with no exit plan. I think why they went in, they went in for a regime change, like it or not, and it's quite saying that Trump is this and Trump is that. But from the other flip side of it, I mean, you looking at Iran, how they've treated their people, how they treat their neighbors, and they're sending missiles to any other Gulf state that had nothing to do with it.
Well, Iran regards the other state as having something to do with it, because they allow American bases on their land, and that's why they're being attacked. If there was no American bases, they wouldn't attack them. But the thing about putting boots on the ground in Iraq, Dermot, right? Iraq is flat. plenty
know
of space
Iran
for
isn't.
tanks.
Yeah, I
You know,
know
it's
that.
flat.
Yeah.
Iran is anything but. Iran is mountainous. If they put boots on the ground in Iran, it'll be a totally different thing. It'll be a massacre because the Iranians are cute and they've got a very, 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 very efficient army, unlike the Iraqis. So, you know, I just can't, it would be pure madness to put boots on the ground. That being said, you'd probably do it.
Yeah.
For what reason, I don't know.
Well, for a regime change.
But then is it regime change? It's oil again. I think the regime change. They say they've killed all of the most of the hierarchy in Iran. But I think the new Ayatollah. I think he's dead because that's. But hold on to it. That press release or whatever he gave out today. He wasn't on radio. He wasn't on TV. He wasn't seen. Anybody could have written that. Anybody
Philip,
could have.
He doesn't even. Yeah, but to be fair to him, he doesn't even know he is the supreme leader.
Well, that's the case. Then somebody else wrote that speech. You know,
he's lying there with one leg in a coma. He doesn't even know he's running the country.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair to him, you got to give him. Just be fair. Just to be fair to him, Philip, he doesn't know he's got the gig yet. So
I don't think he's alive. Then I think he's dead. I think he's alive. He's not alive. And if he is alive, he's certainly in no position to do his job.
Well, I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny, but it is in a way because we'll get onto that in a minute. We will get onto that. Giant says, after me says, I think Mr. T has lost a few marbles. A few. Maybe one or two.
He's lost a factory load.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, Philip, this is the latest from last night. This is the latest bombing from the US and Israel, where they've hit and where they haven't hit. Now, the yellows are the confirmed US and Israel strikes. The red are confirmed Iranian strikes. And the black is reported explosions. Well, there isn't many black dots there. But let's start with the red ones. Let's start where Israel has hit. So they've hit Qatar, they've hit the UAE, they've hit Kuwait, they've hit Iraq, on the border and in central Iraq as well. And they've actually hit Lebanon. Well, Israel's there, if you know what I mean. It's along there, and then Lebanon is sort of off Israel. But I mean, they are fighting back. They are saying, I think their missiles are going down, but it's more drones than missiles. But
I tell you, they've done an awful lot of damage to Lebanon. They've issued warnings for people to evacuate entire areas of Beirut.
Yeah,
you know, and they've also, even though there was a news blackout coming out of Israel, but there's a lot of damage done to Tel Aviv as well. A lot of damage. So they are making their point. They are hitting home. And again, I don't agree with that. I think it's terrible. I think it's shocking to attack countries and hit civilian targets like they have been doing. But this is Iran. And the military capability is an awful lot stronger than the hounds in Washington are allowing people to know about.
They poked the bear, didn't they? They poked the bear.
They poked the bear. That's a good way to put it, yeah. They've been preparing for this since 1979. They're well prepared for something like this.
Yeah, in the last 4 hours, Philip, the Islamic Republic State TV has confirmed that at least 10 IRGC Basel checkpoints have been destroyed, with more reported targeted across the country. Footage is circulating online shows drone strikes hitting street-level checkpoints used by the regime forces to harass and repress civilians. I was watching something last night where two people were in their car going to get petrol, and they were harassed by the IRGC. I mean, these are people with guns. They were harassing them, Philip. It was like,
oh, no, shocking.
Where me can go down and get a petrol for the car or fill up your car with electricity. It's like being harassed. Us. Pressure on the regime internal security infrastructure is increasing. In the last 3 hours as well, audio is circulating online captures US and Israeli pilots communicating during the operation over Iran. Please be safe out there. Strike hard. The recording reflects the close talks between American and Israeli forces as they maintain control of the Iranian airspace. And just one last little bit of breaking news is the US Treasury in the last sort of 10, 15 minutes have come out and said no price tag will make the Iran war affordable. That is from the US Treasury. Also, the IRGC commander says Israel gas fields are targets. And as I said, 21 minutes ago, or a bit longer now, Iran war coming along versus Trump. And also, Philip, very quickly, and this sort of leads us on to the supreme one-legged leader. Iran will target use bases in regime unless they are closed, says the supreme leader. Before we got on to him, this was Tehran last night, and this is where the confirmed strikes are from Tehran. Now, look, I don't know Tehran that well, but these are all where the military bases are, Philip, around, and checkpoints and everything.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of somebody on 2C TV who's showing people in Iran are sending him video clips of the bombing raids of Iran. And to be fair to them, they seem to be hitting the buildings, but try not to hit civilians.
Yeah, well,
we know the school.
We know the story behind that school. The story behind that school is that
I still think the Iranians hit it.
Dermot, come on! They've got footage now. There's a report coming out tonight that's blaming America for it because they've got footage of a missile, Tomahawk missile, which only America has, hitting the school. But the reason they hit the school was this.
Where's that report coming from?
10 years ago. Huh?
Yeah, where was that report coming from?
That report's been done out by the Americans themselves. It's literally been leaked already, and the report is that America was culpable. But the reason it happened was the school, the area the school was in, used to be part of the Islamic Guard headquarters. It was annexed some years ago, and they built a wall around it. But it seems to me the coordinates of the American intelligence were never changed. So the school was left on the base was hitting several different points, as was the school, and that's why it was hit. Donald Trump says it was the Iranians that did it. That's a typical reaction from him, but that has now been disproved. And it's been classed as one of the worst, technically, war crimes of modern times.
Yeah.
So there will be people held to account for that, you know. But this thing about Iran doing it, no, it definitely wasn't Iran doing it. There might be false flag operations elsewhere, but certainly they wouldn't kill 178 of their own people.
Well, this is the latest, Philip, of where they're bombing in Iraq, and it shows how they really are targeting everywhere, isn't it? They really are targeting.
Yeah, but you see, they've got the intelligence has got the coordinates. So they type it into the machine, away she goes, and she hits within a couple of yards accuracy. There should be no civilian casualties there, which is different from what Iran is doing. They're just firing stuff in and letting God knows where it's going to land, you know. But there is another thing that's not been brought out. You know, I remember in the Vietnam War, every night I'd be watching the news.
Yeah.
And they'd say there were so many American soldiers killed today and so many wounded. There was none of that coming out of America. They're never announcing the casualty rates. Now, there's more than 7 people dead. There's got to be wounded. There's got to be, you know, people hospitalized because of this. They're keeping that very quiet. And why are they doing that? Because they know the public reaction is going to be anti-war. Because he went in on a no-war ticket, America first, and it's anything but at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, this island doesn't mean anything. Do you want to explain to the people watching, Philip, what this island's about?
Karg Island is the main oil terminal for Iran. It's the kind of the headquarters of the oil industry. And if it was either captured or destroyed, it would be a huge blow to the Iranian economy for a start, and also the regime. This is where the boots on the ground scenario seems to have arisen, that they're going to put army in to try and take this place, or they could just blitz it from above. But it is Karg Island. It'll be kind of, you know, we have a terminal in Whiddy Island here in Ireland, Cork. It would be their version of that, only an awful lot bigger, and that's what controls most of the oil coming out of Iran through there. So it's vitally important to the Iranian economy.
So, right, okay. We've got here from John. Did you see Mr. T disrespecting of the fallen, wearing his brand? Yeah. What did you make of that?
I mean, I didn't expect anything else, to be honest with you.
No.
And he was bored. He was actually, you know, he was as if he'd rather be somewhere else. He was playing with his tie. He was looking down around him.
Yeah.
And the thing I didn't like about that was, in my watching this back again, go back to Vietnam and the Iraq War, whenever a fallen, I mean, and these guys are, they serve the country, they paid the ultimate price. I think they deserve better than being shoved into the back of a transit van to be brought to the cemetery.
Yeah.
The least they could have done was give them an individual hearse. I think it looked shocking to see them being loaded up. It was like a parcel delivery being put in the back of an Amazon van. Terrible.
Yeah, it was. But big up, Giant. Yeah, for me, I think it was disgraceful as well, to be fair. But when has ever that man ever shown respect? It hasn't. Now, I think this is going to be very interesting, this island. It's going to, I reckon that's either going to explode the war or end the war in one way, Philip.
It could be. Yeah, it's I mean, it's such a, you can be sure that the Iranians have got massive defenses around that place. It's something they're not going. But then again, what can they do with a Tomahawk missile coming in from above? Not much you can do about that, unless they've got an air defense system, which I don't think they have. Not
a lot. I'm just going to check if there's any more breaking news at the minute, Philip. So just give us a few minutes. I'm just refreshing pages. Right. Okay. Now, apparently 14 minutes ago, columns of smoke over Karajar and Tehran in Iran. UN rights expert warns world has entered a new dark age of abuse. I think that might be due to the war in Iran. And also, Philip, children among 9 killed in an Israeli airstrike in Lebanon, in the Sidon district tonight as well, which is that's the sad part, isn't it?
That Lebanon thing is, I mean, to be honest with you, that's totally separate from the Iranian thing. They should be left separate.
It is.
They've decided to include it as kind of an added bonus, if you like, try and wipe out Hezbollah, who are very, very strong in the Lebanon. But I mean, you see cars. I think 2 million people have evacuated themselves or something like that.
Yeah,
you know, it's
but also the Lebanon government do have a right to. Israel keep telling them close them down, stop them. But I think they're so embedded. Am I right to say they're embedded within the government as well?
Oh yeah, of course they are. Yeah, they're very influential. Very influential.
Yeah. Now, Philip, let's talk about the supreme leader. This man that somehow, out of nowhere, as the IRGC did confirm, he is in a coma. He has lost the leg. Apparently, he's on the ventilator as well. Apparently, wrote a statement. I mean, he's defied medical. He's defied medical science. The fella that I watch, 2CTV, he's a lot more funny. What he calls him, and I have to be very careful. But he's really funny what he says. But yeah, he's put out a statement, Philip. Now, I didn't decide to read the whole statement because it was too long, and to be fair, it was too long. So what I've done, I've taken the sort of points of the statement down. So the first one is the Strait of Hormuz should stay closed as a tool to pressure the US and Israel. He says US bases in the region must be closed and Gulf Arab countries should help do so. He also said, I mean, this man's a genius, Iran will open other fronts in the war. It is not immediately clear. What does that mean, Philip? Where could Iran open other fronts? I mean,
oh God!
I mean, is this man sitting there with a crystal ball?
I mean, where else? He's attacked all his neighbors. Well, where else is left? If he goes after Turkey, then he's in NATO territory there. That's going to get tricky. So no, I don't know what. I mean, let's face it, the guy's in a coma, so we've got to give him some credits, you know, for even coming out with this type of statement. You know, I'd say there's no more chance of him writing that than there was I wrote it. It's you know, he's got a good script writer. That's all I'll say for him.
Yes, he doesn't even know he's a supreme leader. I mean, he doesn't even know he's got the job.
Oh,
I mean, God love him, Mike.
Yeah. But then again, you know, he is if he ever does come back into this real world, he is regarded as being even more hardline than his father. So what I think they've done there is they've tried to translate his hardline into a statement like that to show that he is a hardliner, even though he probably never ever take up the position because he's too badly hurt, if he's still alive at all.
I mean, look, I'm being serious here, with right. Joking aside, right. I'm being serious here with this question, right. Why? I mean, wouldn't you think they would pick somebody that they could bring out and he could come out and they could use him for propaganda, and he was seen around. Is it because if they do pick somebody, he's going to be bombed out of it within 5 minutes? That
Probably.
Donald Trump will find out where he's living and say, "I'm sending you an early Christmas present."
Probably.
So it's like, well, if you use this fella, he's not going to move. As I said, he's got one leg. He's not going to walk anywhere, and nobody knows where he is. He's in the hospital, so they're not going to attack a hospital.
I've actually got a good name for him.
He's more like a martyr leader, isn't it? A martyr leader that they can say, "Oh, look, he's alive, folks. He's alive. He's sending out. He's sending." I mean, there is. I mean, they used a picture of him for his when he was announced as supreme leader.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's AI versions of him as a cardboard going around the place. Apparently, last night he was seen dancing in New York. He's been on chat shows. I mean, some of the AI stuff I've seen, right, it is funny.
I'm surprised Donald Trump hasn't put a name on him yet. I can think of one immediately. Hop along, Khomeini. That's very disrespectful. But you know what I think about this is
Long John Silver.
Long John Silver. It's very ironic that Iran picked a successor from that his father was the previous Ayatollah. Because in 1979, when they got rid of the regime, it was to do away with hereditary succession like that. And now here they are doing it themselves. So it's a bit hypocritical, you know. But I don't think this guy, if he is alive, he'll never ever do the job. There's a puppet doing it for him. There's somebody, you know, appointed to.
I agree with Giant. Giant says using AI. I think they are. He also said in his speech, as well, Iran will avenge martyrs killed by the US and Israel, specifically mentioning the school attack, which killed at least 165 people, mostly children, which is shocking. A draft report in the US yesterday found the America was likely behind the strikes. That's
the one I was talking about. It's coming out officially today or tomorrow. You know,
that sort of backs up what you're saying. This bit here, I mean, I don't know who come up with this bit. I don't know if they were if they had a few too many whiskeys. But
well, I tell you, it's lucky they don't drink, because to be accused of being drunk coming out with something like that. I mean, there's more chance of Donald Trump playing centre forward for Liverpool or Tottenham than there is of them getting compensation.
Right. So Iran will seek compensation from the US and Israel in response to the war, or will destroy their assets. I don't think they can do either. Tehran is not looking for wider control in the Middle East.
I want to be your friend, but mind you, there's a bomb hitting you. I'm going to hit your parliament building in 5 minutes.
That's true. And once, did you remember the fella in the Iraq War in 1990? Ali, something Ali. Do you remember him?
Yeah. He was the spokesman for Saddam Hussein.
Some of the things he come out with, I got to find some of his quotes. I mean, I thought they were bizarre, but this one is.
Oh, yeah, he was. I'll get it here. He was priceless. I think he was tried as a war criminal after the war.
Yeah. Tehran is not looking to wider control, wants good relations with neighbors countries, he said, despite vowing to continue. Well, I mean, the president came out a couple of days ago and said, look, I apologize to our Arab neighbors. We didn't mean to hit you. We are very sorry. We're extremely sorry. We won't do it again. 5 minutes later, they're bombing them. As he's saying, we won't hit you again. I mean, honest to God. And then the supreme leader did call for unity among the Iranian population and acknowledged the strain they have felt. Well, I don't think he's feeling anything at the moment. I don't know what strain he's feeling. I don't know, Philip. Do you know what strain he's feeling? Because I don't think he's feeling anything at the moment.
The strain he's feeling. He's probably feeling down and say, "Where's my leg gone? I'm missing my left leg."
He doesn't even know. I mean, there is rumors that he did, as you said, that he probably died in the first bomb attack when they hit the compound with his family.
Yeah.
But
he's probably
I've
the only
never
one.
known. Can I just say one thing, Philip? Though I've never known, right, a regime to use this so much for propaganda.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it's going to achieve, because people, if they want people to get around the regime and don't forget, 90 million people live in Iran, so it's only 5 million that are supporters of the regime. I mean, me and Derville saw a video the other night. Was it on bike? I remember they were on bike. And there was 5 of them on bikes, and only one of them was chanting. The rest of them just didn't saying anything. It was just so funny. But to me, Philip, it seems you want somebody out there that's got a face, that's out there.
But you can't go out there. You can't go out there. That's the problem. Because I think I'll give you my interpretation of what happened here, right? They put out, right, who wants to be the next supreme leader, right? And everyone started shuffling in their seat and looking the other way and scratching their heads. Not me. So they decided to go for this guy. Deal or no deal. They decided to go for this guy, knowing that he was either dead or missing a leg or something, right? And they said, well, we'll make do. We'll put out proxy, statements or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody wanted the job, because getting that job is literally signing your own death warrant. You will not last 10 minutes. So I think that's what the problem is. But just to go back quickly, I've got the name of the guy back in Iraq. Yeah. It was Tariq Aziz was the spokesman. And he was actually sentenced to death. But the Iraqi president who followed Saddam Hussein wouldn't sign his death warrant. So he spent the rest of his life in prison. But there was a couple of other guys too. There was Chemical Ali and Baghdad Bob. Baghdad Bob.
I remember
that brings back memories.
I remember there's some of the stuff that fella come out with was just bizarre. Like you got the Americans on Baghdad, right? They've just beaten the Iraq, and he's out there saying, no, we're gonna win, we're winning. But the Americans are just 2 miles down the road. That's
the best. His most famous one, reading it here, was he became famous for his colorful, blatantly inaccurate daily broadcasts, denying the presence of US troops in Baghdad while they occupied the building next door. I know we shouldn't be laughing, but it's just so comical,
Should be laughing. Honestly, God. I mean, yeah, they were next door. No, they're not in Baghdad. No, they're not. We shouldn't laugh. We shouldn't. But he did come out with some clangers, though, didn't he?
There were no American infidels in Baghdad. Never. Oh, stop. I said there's actually one beautiful one where apparently he was on a news broadcast saying the Americans weren't there and a tank rolled by. An American tank.
Sorry. He was funny. As a kid or a teenager, right, I found him hilarious. It reminded me, it was as funny as not Boris Johnson. He's comical as well. Yeltsin.
Yeah, you nearly watched the news to see what he's going to come up with next, Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching the news with Yeltsin, and he actually jumped up on the stage and started dancing.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. And the time he stopped off in Shannon, and all the boys were down to meet him, and he was too drunk to get off the plane, Oh, well.
Now, just to give you guys... Yeah, we've just got a bit more breaking news. John says... Very funny. John says he lost musical chairs. I mean, look, just on the serious point, I was actually speaking to an Iranian fella today, and he said it's great what's happening with the Americans and getting rid of the regime and all this.
Yeah.
Where do you see Iran in 10, 15 years' time if the regime goes? Where do you see them as a country?
Listen, there is a country in there pre-1979. Okay, I know the Shah wasn't perfect. If they can get rid of the Revolutionary Guard and go back to it's a country of rich possibilities. I mean, they've got
Yeah.
so much natural resources there. There's not being exploited at all. You know, maybe this war might do some good. It might get people to rise up. But see, the problem is there's no effective opposition in Iran. There's people that disagree with the government, but they're the man in the street. If you control the military, you control Iran. So somebody can turn the military against the Ayatollahs, then maybe there's a chance. But I think it's a long way down the road. It really is. This war will not change it. The regime will just carry on.
Yeah. Just also breaking news a couple of hours, and I was speaking to you at the time it came on about the active shooter confirmed at the Temple Israel of synagogues. Now, a couple of synagogues were attacked around the world, Philip. One in America, I think one in Norway, Belgium as well. Look, whatever we think of Netanyahu and his government, can you, and it goes for any country, Philip, can you blame the people of that country for what their presidents or prime ministers do?
No. I mean, half the Israeli population would hate Netanyahu and what he stands for. The decent man in the street would not want anything to do with this. And that's why it's so tragic that somebody will attack a synagogue and kill or injure people that have absolutely nothing to do with Netanyahu. Now, I believe in America, in wherever that attack was, they've actually killed the gunman.
They did kill him, didn't they? Shot him.
Yeah, but I mean, it's terrible. I mean, where you can't go to your church and worship without the fear of an attack like that. And Netanyahu bears the brunt of that, because if he has instilled a hatred of Jews that is not really representative. Okay, there are certain elements that deserve it, the government people and the people that inflict the carnage on Gaza. But your ordinary man in the street who just lives his life, religious, goes to synagogue on a Friday, he does not deserve anything like that.
No. In Denmark, Philip, the urgent drivers to cut fuel use amid oil shock. I mean, as we said, it is all about oil. Now, we've got some breaking news. 10 minutes ago, blast heard near Bazaar in central Tehran. Iran remains defiant. Also, the IRGC intelligence organization calls for information on U.S. troops across the region.
Well, Russia is feeding them information, apparently, about the location of, because Russia would have the satellite imagery. They can do that, which is ironic, because Donald Trump was told this at one stage, or Pete Hegseth was, and he more or less passed it off as irrelevant. Now, those guys are giving Iran information which could end up with the deaths of American servicemen. So I can't see where the irrelevance comes from. It's very relevant.
Well, just to give you a bit more on that blast in central Tehran, just moments ago, this was about 10 minutes ago, by the way, just moments ago, there were blasts in Tehran near Bazaar in downtown Tehran, and also Ayvaz received some bombs. South Tehran was also bombarded with further south in the city of Kashan. Some missiles there. There is a combination during the last few days of drones and missiles. Drones have been used much more heavily and frequently here in Tehran. Some security checkpoints were hit yesterday. So that's a new development and what's going on. Regarding the other side, the reaction of Iran, there is a 42nd wave of Operation True Promise that has been announced. And there's also continued of the same targeting of U.S. air bases and American Israel targets also inside Israel. There's no reduction of the level of defiance and level of power that Iran is using against the Americans and Israel, either in Israel or in the Gulf region. Just on that, Philip, does that mean that the Trump coming out and saying, "Oh, we've downed their navy, we've downed their air force, we've depleted them in their cruise and their ballistic missiles, or we've got rid of their drones"? Do you think that Donald Trump's not telling the actual truth of how much damage he is doing to the Iran's sort of ballistic, and
Donald Trump wouldn't recognize the truth if it jumped up and bit him. He said that he's
yeah,
projecting. He'll tell the people that the war's over just to keep his base happy.
yeah.
So no, he's completely. I mean, anybody with a semblance of military knowledge would know that this war is far from over. Far from over. The MAGA base will believe him because they'll believe anything he tells them.
Yeah. Just also, the Erbil government reports injury of 6 French soldiers in the attack on the oil ship, by the way, as well. And also, this is unreal. I mean, these numbers are sort of mind blowing. Bahrain has intercepted 114 missiles and 190 drones targeted the kingdom since the war started. Since the start of the war, Bahrain's defense ministry said it's intercepted and destroyed 114 missiles and 190 drones targeted Bahrain, and that's just Bahrain alone.
Yeah, I know. And it
So
one of that hasn't been mentioned too much in being attacked either. Not as much as Kuwait. Yeah, I mean these drones. I mean, what I heard a military analyst on today. He says a few years ago when drone warfare started, you get attacks with 1 or 2 drones, which are quite easily suppressed. Okay.
yeah,
But now what's happening? They're sending them out in batches of 50 or 60, and you can guarantee at least 10% are going to get through. So that's what's happening. The drone warfare, drones have taken over. They are revolutionized. It's like back in the First World War when the tank came out. That revolutionized fighting then. The drone is this generation's tank.
Yeah. And just also as well, Philip, Iraq have shut down all port operations from deadly attacks on 2 foreign oil tankers as Bahrain, Kuwait, UAE, and Saudi Arabia intercept more Iranian missiles and drones.
Yeah.
So it's not getting. There's no sign of it ending.
No.
So I will end in this last question, Philip. Just talk a little bit. I've just got some breaking news, Philip.
Yeah,
Just talk about something for a minute. I've just got breaking news. Just want to read this.
The fact that the American Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has been very bullish about the whole thing, will not rule out bringing boots on the ground, which we discussed earlier. I think would be absolutely tragic. It'd be a bloodbath. And it's okay, as I say, going on to a country like Iraq, which is free and very, very low rise, no mountains. If this became a guerrilla warfare attack in Iran, it could drag on for years. Literally, could drag on for years. So let's hope that people see sense before that. Anyway, Dylan, what's the latest?
U.S. military say it's lost a refueling aircraft in Iraq. The U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, says it's lost a KC-135 refueling aircraft in friendly airspace during its war on Iran. Rescue efforts are ongoing. 2 aircrafts were involved in an incident. One went down in western Iraq, while the other landed safely. This was not due to hostile fire or friendly fire, says CENTCOM, said in a statement. More information will be made available as the situation develops. So, Philip, breaking news there.
Well, if there's no enemy fire involved, what happened there was probably a fighter jet was refueling from the tanker, and they either came too close. It's a very tricky maneuver in midair. They either came too close and collided, and one of the planes crashed. I'd say that's probably what's happened there. It happens. It happens.
I mean, Philip. I mean, it is shocking what's happening. To end on this, I mean, there is a. I just wanted them. I think I wanted to say this to end on this, just to make people realize, because I know the Vatican came out today and criticized Donald Trump or the White House for using gaming footage and live war.
Yeah,
I think to show what was going on, and the Pope did come out and criticize it. I mean, this is below are the confirmation casualties across 12 countries that have been subject to attacks due to the rapidly evolving situation that figures might change as more information becomes available. So as of Thursday, the 12th of March at 12:30 GMT, so this 12:30 lunchtime, the blue is attack by Israel and the US, and the red dots. I will put this up in the channel, by the way, on the thing just to show people. In Iran itself, 1,348 people have been killed, 17,000 injured. There's Netanyahu giving you a call now, Philip. In Israel, 15 people have lost their lives, 2,000 injured. In Jordan, 14 people have been injured. In Iraq, 26 killed by attacks by Israel and the US, dozens injured by attacks by Iran. In Bahrain, 2 killed by these. All the rest of these now are Iranian attacks. 2 killed in Bahrain, 16 injured in Qatar, 2 killed and 12 injured in Saudi Arabia, 6 killed and 131 injured in the UAE, 7 where is it now? 1 killed and 5 injured in Oman. 687 people have lost their lives in Lebanon, with 1,500 injured, and then there's no casualties or no deaths in Cyprus. Also, we know Turkey's been hit. US military, the latest we've gotten there is 7 killed, but there's a star by that, Philip. As an 8 service member died of health-related incident, and there has been 140 to 150 US military injured since the start of the war.
That figure has never been acknowledged. That figure has never been acknowledged by the US military at all.
But if you look at
but those figures, I would say those figures are very, very conservative. I'd say they're probably far worse than that.
Yeah, but if you look around the whole Middle East, Philip, it shows how wide this war.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But in wartime, casualty figures are always suppressed. They're always kept low.
But the point why I was reading all of that, also, you know, the loss of life is terrible. But
it is, and so unnecessary. So unnecessary.
Yeah, you look how many countries are now involved. It's suddenly become a Gulf War that we didn't need.
Exactly. And for what?
You know, regime.
We still don't know the official reason. There's several kicking around there. We just don't know the official one. It looks like it's oil, but it could be something else tomorrow.
I want to leave you with this. And maybe you guys can let us know in the comments. Could the US deploy troops to Iran? Is that the end game for Donald Trump? If he's so mad on regime change, Philip, and so mad on freeing the Iranian people, we know he won't arm the Kurdish people up the north. We know that's not because they don't trust the Americans. They've been let down by the Americans before. Can you see US, if he does, I know you say about protests and everything, but if you were a general and you were going to put troops on Iranian ground, what would your objective be, and what would be the final outcome you want it to be?
The objective would
put
be
your foot into it like you're a US general and you're a Trump. What is your end game?
Yeah, the objection of mine would be is why are you sending my troops into danger? There was no. It's not like Britain in the first UK in 1940 sending over an expeditionary force into France because France had been invaded, right? There was a reason for that. There's no specific reason being brought forward why American troops should be brought on the ground here, other than Donald Trump's ego and the fact that he doesn't want to lose this. He would sacrifice 1,000 American people to keep his ego correct, and that's why I think it's. Yeah, but I don't think there's no genuine reason. The general would have to say why.
Yeah, but if you're looking at,
you're not trying to change the regime is in place and will not change. They'll just keep bringing other people back. Okay, you can try and have a regime change by putting the troops on the ground, but in a country like Iran, that would be an absolute disaster, really, and that's why there'd be so much opposition to it.
I get that. I understand that. And I get your answer. But just play devil's advocate, you put them into Iran, you get rid of the regime. Is that the only way you're going to get rid of the regime? Because nobody's ever got rid of a regime by airstrikes alone.
No, that's true. I mean, they got rid of Hitler by invading Europe. Fair enough. It worked then. But I think in a country like Iran, they going back to Vietnam again. America got their ass kicked in Vietnam. They had to leave. They had to leave with a tail between their legs. The same thing could happen here, and the regime could still carry on. So that's why I think it'd be pointless sending in the men. It's not that important, really, to America that the regime is gone. I think the oil is more important to them.
I think to the Iranian people, it's important.
I think I
think to the Iranian people, it's important.
Some of them, majority of them, yeah, but they're not strong enough to do it themselves. And that's the only thing. Trump's ego could mean I'm not going to be seen to lose out on this, so I'm going to put other people's lives at risk. I don't really care what happens to them as long as I'm all right. And I'd be the big boy if we actually pull it off.
I also think it matters to the Gulf states as well around Iran, because if you really want a peaceful Middle East, I think you need a peaceful Iran. And I think that's my view in it. Look, there's more in this to discuss, and I'm sure Ronan coming on will discuss it as well, Philip.
He'll be on the next time, hopefully.
Yeah, he'll be on. So look, when are we on next, bud?
I suppose keep it flowing. Maybe after the Sunday or Monday. No, probably not Sunday, but Monday.
Monday. I need something to take my mind off Sunday.
Same here.
But anyway, well, look, that is it. That is your latest on our political channel. Do like and subscribe. Do like and subscribe. Do let us know what you think of it. I hope you are enjoying it. It's something that me and Philip are enjoying it. But Philip, what's coming up next on the channel apart from this? Where we're going?
Well, I mean, it'll be Iran will probably be, until things settle down there, will probably be the dominant subject of discussion. Like, there will be other things coming up. There will be the local elections in England. There will be our own politics here at home to see what's happening there, and generally keep an eye on things happening, because there's always something happening somewhere in the world, and we will be on top of it.
And we'll be a bit more. We're going to be a bit more on, more often, aren't we? We're going to be a bit more structured how we come on. We're going to try to come on 2 or 3 times a week and do these shows, guys. If anything major, look, as news breaks in Iran, we'll do shorts. There'll be shorts coming up on the channel. There'll be quick pre-records as well. So maybe Philip's around and he does a 5-minute video on what's happening in the breaking news in Iran. I might do the same. So there'll be more information for you coming your way, guys. Thank you so much, Giants. Really appreciate it, bud. And I hope you get well soon, bud. Get well soon. Please, speedy recovery. But that is it. I am back tomorrow on our football channel, and then it's all the build up to Liverpool. And then, guys, we're back with this on Monday with Ronan, talking more about Iran, Irish politics, and Philip's favorite person in the whole wide world. Can you guess who it is yet? Good night.